What's up, Packers fans? Welcome back to the channel. And today marks a new era in Green Bay Packers football history. It's the first day of free agency, and I just want to break down everything what happened today, give you my reaction and my thoughts to everything that went down today, and give you my thoughts about everything going forward. So it's been a minute, but we recently found out that on Saturday or Sunday that the Packers are going to be releasing Devondre Campbell, um, which will ultimately create $10 million in cap space post June 1st. They give them $10 million in cap space by cutting him. This guy that was all first team All Pro in 2021 when Green Bay signed him for it was like a 1 year $5 million project, and the dude became a first team All Pro. He's played fucking awesome. Clearly, the last 2 years, between injuries and drop off play, it was definitely needed for him to be cut. Shout out to Devondre Campbell. He was good, but definitely need to move on. So that was Sunday, and then Monday today marked the basically the start of free agency period, but with the legal tampering shit that's going on. And it started off with what was the first thing that happened? Yes, the Packers announced that they will be releasing David Bakhtiari from the Green Bay Packers, and let me tell you, I definitely saw this was coming, saw this coming, and it was something that needed to happen, um, based on everything that has happened with him the last 2, 3 seasons. Having 4, 5+ knee surgeries in the last 3 years. Um, sucks. David Bakhtiari is a Hall of Fame type player. I don't know if he'll be a Hall of Fame player when it's all said and done, but when he was playing with the Green Bay Packers, he was an NFL Hall of Famer. Um, Seemingly, it was a 3-time All Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, all these accolades. Just a guy that fucking carried the G to the fucking core. And it sucks because he's by far my favorite lineman the Packers have ever had. um, this is the Packers Jason Kelsey, basically. He's just sucks to see him go, but definitely had to. Only played in one game last year. um, and that was the week one against the Bears, which I actually attended. And so it's kind of cool to be like, you were at David Bakhtiari's last game, but um, yeah, and he played great. That's the sucky thing is he fucking absolutely destroyed in that first game. Like didn't allow anything, flicked off, Soldier Field, and just was absolutely amazing. And then you just find out that his knee was fucked up, and you know it just sucks. But I just want to say, Dave, you are the fucking man. You will be a Green Bay Packer forever. And to that, say cheers. I'm gonna pop a toast to David. Wow. David, you are the fucking man. You will be in the Packer Hall of Fame, no doubt. And I'm curious to see where he goes. If it's the New York Jets, play with Aaron. That seems like the likely scenario. But damn, it just sucks to see him go. Thankfully, you had a 7th-round pick 2 years ago from Penn State, Rasheed Walker, play really well. So that definitely helped the situation to let David go. If hypothetically, if Rasheed Walker played like horseshit all the way up until the end of the year, this would be a lot tougher decision. But ultimately, this was the right decision to let David go. But it's it sucks because it's wish we could have won him a Lombardi trophy because he's definitely worthy, and he's that good of a player without a doubt. Best lineman we've had fucking forever, and that's not saying much because Green Bay has had amazing lineman play, but he was, and that just goes to show like how great he was. He was the best. So, cheers, Dave. Um, so that news happened, and that alone was gonna be the fucking day, you know. Then we find out that Josh Jacobs is going to be signing with the Green Bay Packers. And let me tell you, I was completely shocked. Yeah, the Green Bay Packers were looking into Jonathan Taylor last year. They made some calls to Chris Ballard and Indy and be like, hey, what do you want for Jonathan Taylor? And that was a shock. Like, they wanted to add another piece of this running back room. And then I saw this today. It kind of made sense, but I was still shocked because this really came out of the blue. Josh Jacobs came off a down year last year, and prior to that, the 2022 season was a first team All Pro, 1,600 yards rushing, which is fucking amazing. But then last year only had 800 yards rushing. So I was just like, oh my gosh, Green Bay is about to have the best running back duo in the fucking NFL with Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. And I was like, this is amazing. You know, I felt like that was a home run hit. And then we find out, an hour and a half later that the Green Bay Packers have informed that Aaron Jones that he's going to be released. And boy, that I'm trying to figure out how to word this because I was fucking shocked, immediately saddened, and immediately felt like a heartbreak, it felt like a breakup. It felt like a kick to the nuts. It felt like I was gonna throw up. That the Green Bay Packers are letting go Aaron Jones, and I was just so fucking mad because it sucks because Aaron Jones has said in multiple interviews, even as recently as this last playoff game, when he was like interviewing, I think it was like with MK Adams, that he wants to be a Green Bay Packer for life. And he said it multiple times. He literally is the embodiment of a Green Bay Packer. Like, just hard worker, plays hard, works his ass off, great leadership, great mentor towards his teammates, a man's man, a guy that coaches love to coach, a great, great ball player, great everything, great attitude, no sir, yes sir guy. And man, I was heartbroken. I'm still heartbroken because that's my guy. That's my number one running back in Packers history, in my opinion, the best I've ever seen at the position when it comes to Green Bay. I love that guy. Can't remember if I told this story before, but during the Bucs championship run, it was for that game 6 when they won the finals. I was with me and my wife and one of my best friends, and we were walking towards the stadium, walking towards the game, just kind of chilling, and then I ultimately ran into Aaron Jones, kind of out of nowhere. He was by a hotel, and me being the dumbass that I was, like, I immediately sprinted towards him because I just had to say hi to him. And when I saw him, he just like basically gave me a lot of love and just said, I was praising him like a fanboy that I was being. It was definitely embarrassing, but looking back now, but I just wanted to give him some love because he's like just such an amazing running back. But I gave him a bunch of compliments, and he's like, man, he just said like all love, man. I love that, and he was just such a nice guy, even for like a couple seconds that I got to talk to him. But me and my buddy got to snag a picture with him, and He's just the embodiment of what you want. Always goes to Bucks games. Always just like loves the city of, loves Wisconsin, loves Green Bay, loves Milwaukee. Just everything that you want in the Packers. And I've said in previous videos that this guy never will go down as one of the greatest Packers of all time. But even saying that, he's a guy that they didn't use him as much as they should have, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Even when he was drafted by Ted Thompson, drafted Aaron Jones, and Mike McCarthy just refused to play him his first 2 years. Like, just refused to play him for whatever reason. Maybe it was he was bad at camp, his rookie year. Maybe he just didn't show much right at the beginning, but it's weird because like then you'd watch him in the preseason games and the little opportunities he got in games. It's just you could see like, oh, this guy's got something. This guy is like constantly getting 5-6 yards a carry. Like, let's just get this guy the ball more. And just Mike never wanted to give him the ball, which is kind of funny when it's all said and done. How good Aaron Jones has done against the Dallas Cowboys. Like, it's just kind of ironic how that happens. But yeah, I'm just kind of rambling, but yeah, Aaron Jones is one of the fucking all-time legends to me. And he's like, I can't really think off the top of my head, but he's like one of the top 5 greatest Packers I've ever watched. Love the guy. So last year he took a $5 million pay cut just to stay on the team. Like, this guy embodies the fucking G&G. Like, just sucks to see him go, because I know he's gonna fucking do great at wherever he goes. Obviously, he missed a big chunk of games this year due to injury, so the injuries were catching up. He's 29 years old right now. But with that, it's weird to say, yeah, he missed a bunch of games, but he without him, the Packers would have never had a nice playoff run that they had. They would have never been able to get to the playoffs without Aaron Jones. He recorded his first ever 3 or 4 straight games of 100 yards rushing. Like, I just felt like he's peaking. He's peaking, and he's the heart and soul. He's the heart and soul of this offense. And I really don't know how Green Bay is gonna do this without him. How are they gonna get this when the offense is in a lull? How are they gonna get shit going? And yeah, you could say like, well, hey, they won against the Chiefs, the world champion Chiefs this year without Aaron Jones. He didn't play that game, and they still beat the Chiefs. And then you say, hey, they beat the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving when Detroit was the hottest they've ever been. They beat Detroit without Aaron Jones this year. Yeah, you can say that too. But every Packer fan would be lying if they said Aaron Jones is important to this offense, because he is literally, if you think of like a mixed drink, you put your tequila and then you put your soda in there. Aaron Jones is the straw that mixes that mixed drink to make everything flow and taste good. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about Aaron Jones. He's just like he's a Bears killer, he's a Vikings killer, he's a Dallas Cowboys killer. Like, what can you ask for the Packers? Like, if you could just beat those 3 teams every year, that's what you want. And I know, you can sway arguments in a way where it's like, I have so many arguments that sway. It's like, this is the right choice. Yes, go get, you got Jacobs now. This is a better thing. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed that the Packers, didn't, if they didn't keep Aaron Jones, because I am very disappointed. And, I just want, like David Bakhtiari, I just wanted to see him win a world championship with the green and gold, because that guy fucking deserves it. And I just can't say enough good things about Aaron Jones. Like I said, took a $5 million pay cut last year just to stay on the team. And obviously he signed Drew Rosenhaus, that fucking piece of shit, but obviously he's good at his job. But Drew Rosenhaus, I'm guessing, went and he's talking to Goody and his representatives and been like, hey, Saquon Barkley just got this shit ton of money. DeAndre Swift just got all this money. Like, and Aaron Jones played his ass off at the last half of the year. Like, this dude needs to get paid, and I agree. The guy deserves money, but ultimately Green Bay wasn't going to pay him money, and that's just kind of what it is. That's just how Green Bay rolls, It's just weird because in Goody's last press conference, he even said, like, somebody asked, is Aaron Jones going to be on this team next year? And he's like, absolutely. This guy is the heart and soul of this team, and it's just crazy. It really is not show friends. It's show fucking business, without a doubt. But I don't know where it sounds like the Packers wanted him to take a 50% pay cut, and obviously that's, if he was expecting to make $12 million this year, it would have been around $5.5 million. Yeah, that's not good. That's not going to work. And Aaron Jones definitely deserves way more than $5.5 million this year, even on an injury-riddled team. It's just, it's just tough. This is one of the toughest days as a Packers fan I've ever had. Losing two of the best guys to ever wear the green and gold. But it is what it is. I really don't know how I feel about Josh Jacobs. But before I talk about Josh Jacobs, I'm gonna give another toast to Aaron Jones, because he is the epitome of Green Bay Packers. So, Aaron, thank you for all the happiness. Ugh, now I'm sad. So yeah, but now Green Bay is going to be going with Josh Jacobs, and they gave him a 4-year, $48 million contract. Now that seems like a lot if you just hear about that, but the nice part is it's only $12.5 million guaranteed. So basically they front loaded this contract. So if he does good, they can keep him. If he kind of doesn't feel like the right fit after this next year, he doesn't play well, then they can opt out pretty quickly and not lose like basically any money. So they got options there, but Josh Jacobs, fucking, he was a first team All-Pro, like I said, in 2022, had 1,600 yards of rushing. It was like 10 or 11 touchdown, and then this year had a big drop off, only 800 yards and like 3 touchdowns or something. But again, you can sway the narrative to your objective if you want. I could bring up fucking, Raiders were going through fucking crazy shit, and Josh Daniels and Antonio Pierce, the head coaching switch, the Raiders offensive line was dog shit all year. Like, I test anybody to name any offensive lineman for the Raiders, because I can't, and I'm a big NFL fan, and it just, they just played like shit all year. It shows in, the Raiders. But coincidentally enough, Josh Jacobs' one really good game this year was against the Packers when they beat the Packers, so that's kind of ironic. But yeah, I really don't know how I feel about Josh Jacobs. I just can't believe he's on this team. I would have never thought he'd be on this team. It doesn't feel like a Packers pick. It doesn't feel like a Packers guy. It doesn't, I really don't know how to feel. Running backs can really drop off quick in the NFL, and he definitely dropped off last year. But he did have a couple in his 4 or 5 years in the league. He has had a couple 1,000-yard rushing seasons, so maybe a change of scenery will be nice for him. I just not sure how to feel right now. I'm a bit emotional right now, because Aaron Jones was number one guy for me. So in a way that this actually hits harder than this hits harder than what it was with Aaron Rodgers last year, because you can just feel like the constant media talking weeks after weeks after weeks, with Rodgers ultimately leaving, that you could kind of like build it up. Whereas this was just a very shocking surprise. And, you know, Aaron Jones is just the fucking epitome of Green Bay Packers, and he just never got enough touches, in my opinion. Like, there's like a crazy stat where if he got like 20 or more touches, Green Bay's like some crazy record. Like, they're like 22 wins and 2 losses. If he just gets 20 carries a game, that's it. So it's just, it just sucks. I I feel like they never utilized him to his full potential, but when they did, the moments in the games that they did, you could just see superstar written all over. And this is like one of my biggest hot takes I've ever had, but I'm just going to say it. In my opinion, Aaron Jones is a Hall of Fame running back in the NFL. Now, will he be in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely not. Will he be in the Packer Hall of Fame? Yes, he will be. But when he's healthy and when he plays, when he gets his 20 touches, he is a Hall of Fame running back. That is the type of skill, speed, athleticism that he is. He is that fucking good. He's I hope he can stay healthy this next year, whoever team he's on. Unless if it's the fucking Minnesota Vikings, then I have fucking no words, because if he goes to the Vikings, it's just all I can do is laugh, because it's like the most Vikings thing to do ever. And I'm not even gonna talk it into this fucking world right now. But Aaron Jones, hot take, Aaron Jones is a Hall of Fame type running back, but he won't ever be because he doesn't have the stats. But that's how fucking good he is. He just never got. Matt LaFleur always wanted to rest him. And Mike McCarthy never wanted to play him. But he is that fucking amazing. So, yeah, it sucks. We'll see what happens. I'm sure after a couple days the emotions will set in, and I'll be a little bit more content with Josh Jacobs. But right now, I'm just not content with like his bowling ball style, and he's a good running back, but I just can't picture Josh Jacobs as the starting running back. I think they have to go draft somebody. If it's a Blake Corum, if it's a Marshawn Lloyd, if it's a Jonathan Brooks, if it's a Audric Estime from Notre Dame, if it's a Braylon Allen from Wisconsin, I would love any of those guys. I feel like you got to go after a guy, especially if you don't bring back A.J. Dillon, which it doesn't sound like they will. But moving on, I just wanted to talk about some other things that happened. The Packers lost Darnell Savage today. No surprise to the Jaguars. 3-year, $21 million deal. Best of luck to him. Never lived up to his full potential, in my opinion. Had some moments. I mean, if he would have caught that pick six against the 49ers this year in the playoffs, he would be on the team this year. That's how crazy the NFL is. Like, if he has the pick six against Dallas in the divisional round or in the wild card round, then if he has the pick six against the 49ers like he should have, he would be an all-time Packers legend. He'd have a second contract most likely, but now he's not. But he dropped that wide open pass, and he's definitely he'll be long forgotten after 5 years. So, but shout out to Darnell Savage. Never lived up to his potential, but good guy, and he was a nice safety piece, like a nice safety piece to have, but never was like that difference maker. But he was an okay guy. Then Packers also lost their starting guard this year, John Runyon Jr., to the Giants on a 3-year, $30 million deal. His agent is also Drew Rosenhaus, so him and Goody were on the phone, I'm sure, a lot today, talking about everything. And there's, sorry for the cough. There was no way that Green Bay was going to pay 3-year, $30 million deal for John Runyon. And although he's great and has a lot of starts and a lot of, good time with the Packers, The Green Bay was never gonna pay a guard $10 million a year for 3 years. It just wasn't gonna happen. But I think he's good. He didn't play very well at all in the beginning of the season this year, but got better towards the second half. But Green Bay will definitely have to address the offensive line at least twice in the draft. They have to pick at least two guys, in my opinion. You're losing David Bakhtiari. You're losing John Renning Jr. You're losing Yash Nyman, most likely. You should be cutting Royce fucking Newman because he's the biggest piece of shit on the team. You should be cutting him. I'm sure I'm forgetting a guy, but that's four guys right there on the offensive line that you definitely need to move on from and that you're losing. So you need to at least draft two guys, in my opinion, at the offensive line. And then finally, the day ended with a nice signing for the Packers. It was kind of helps heal the burn of today. But Packers signed Xavier McKinney from the New York Giants, and let me tell you, it was obviously the Packers needed a safety this year, and in my opinion, the safety class was really top notch for free agents this year. But in my opinion, the two guys that the two guys that I really wanted were either Xavier McKinney or Kevin Byard, who ultimately went with the Bears, of course. So those are the two guys that I wanted, and I'm glad we were able to get one of them. So where it's kind of nice because McKinney has played 4 years in the league with the Giants. And I'd be lying if I said I knew a lot about him. I really didn't, but PFF, for what that's worth, PFF graded him as the best tackling safety this last year, and they graded him as the best cover safety last year. He had the best grade. It was like he had overall 91.5, on the season. That was his grade, which that's PFF standard, so whatever they grade that by, I don't know. But it's also weird because he wasn't like a Pro Bowl selection or all-pro guy, so... But anyways, that's just for what it's worth. He was graded the highest out of every safety last year, but he got paid. I feel like they overpaid him just a smidge. It doesn't feel like a Packers way of paying guys, but I'm happy because they definitely needed a high caliber safety, and they got one today. And for that, thank you, fucking Goody, because we definitely needed a guy. I believe he got a 4-year contract, and it ends up coming out to be $17 million per year for 4 years. Each year he gets $17 million, and that's definitely high, based on what Kevin Byard got from the Bears, and then what a couple of the other guys got. I'm blanking right now at some of the other safeties that got paid today, but Darnold Savage got 3-year, $21 million. So, but this guy he's going to be, I think he's like top 3 or 4 paid safety in the NFL right now. But from what I've seen, the clips I've seen, he is all that, and more, thankfully. And the best part is he's only 24 years old. And that's crazy to say because he's been in the league for 4 years and he's only 24 years old. So that means he's got a lot left in the tank, hopefully. And the Packers get a position that they desperately needed. And so even though I like Tyler Newman, a guy from Minnesota in the draft, maybe that means you don't have to use your first round pick on a safety and then you can focus on other spots. So they definitely need to address safety in this draft, but maybe you don't have to do it now in the first round now that you got Xavier McKinney. But without a doubt, they need to at least grab 1 or 2 more safeties because all you got on the team really is Xavier McKinney now and Anthony Johnson Jr., who is entering his second year, from Iowa State. So, yeah, so I'm happy with that pick. On that note, that was just day 1 of free agency. So hopefully shit dies down. I hated how this day turned out. I loved it and then I hated it, but without a doubt, I'm definitely sad because this is a new era of Packers football. No more Aaron Jones, no more David Bakhtiari, no more all the guys that I brought up. It just sucks that they never got to win a world championship with the Packers, but it really is. It ain't show friends. It's fucking show business. So um, sucks. This is definitely one of the hardest days I've ever had as a Packers fan, without a doubt. This feels very reminiscent of when the Packers got rid of Jordy Nelson. I was shocked and devastated, but ultimately that turned out to be a great move because Jordy didn't do anything with the Raiders. Same thing when they got rid of James Jones. I was like, what the fuck is going on? He ended up not doing anything with the Raiders. Basically what I'm saying is Green Bay's turned these things, even though their fans are devastated that and confused why Green Bay is not going to be, why would they get rid of this guy? Green Bay has normally been right about these things, about these decisions. You'd rather get rid of a guy too early than too late. And even me, as the biggest Aaron Jones fan in the fucking world, I only wanted him for one more year, because, and then you could start really replenishing the running back position. You can always do that. I wanted him for one more year, but I just really wanted him this next year because Green Bay has a chance to do something special this next year, and I would have just loved to have him on the team because he's the heart and soul of this fucking team, and I would have loved to give him, love to see him win a Super Bowl, but it'll never happen now, and I'm just so curious what Matt LaFleur thinks about everything. I know he didn't want to lose Aaron Jones, and I'm just this is why I'm not a G. I would never be a GM because if it was up to me, Clay Matthews would still be on the team. Aaron Rodgers would have been the starting quarterback this last year. But no, you can't think like that as a GM. When they got rid of Clay, that was the right thing to do. He didn't do anything with the Rams, and ultimately, that was his end of his NFL career. And then Aaron obviously has got to TBD, but we'll see how he does with the Jets this year. But Packers have been right 9 times out of 10 when it comes to these types of decisions. Just sucks because this was a surprise and came out of left field, and I got fucking kicked in the nuts basically when I found out Aaron Jones is gone. So I've rambled too much, so I just want to thank everybody for listening, even tuning in for a second, just to watch my stupid ass talk. So appreciate you guys. If you guys want to like this, leave a comment what you think the Packers should do next, if they should add anybody in free agency, what positions that you want in the draft. I would love to have you guys comment down there, and we'll see what happens on day 2. Hopefully the Packers can just stay low key and just chill out for a day. So, but with that being said, thank you Aaron Jones, thank you David Bakhtiari, thank you Darnell Savage, thank you John Running Jr. for everything. You guys will be fucking missed, but until then, go Pack, go.